Are LeBron and AD enough to get the Lakers to the finals? Because other teams have been making moves.
Yes, they are, but they'll have to bring their A games in order to pull it off. You know, my position has been consistent from the standpoint that I had the Lakers going to the finals because I said those those two guys, LeBron and AD, are two of the top 5 players on the planet Earth. And if they bring their game, they should be able to do it. Now, the other day, when you saw me on TV, you saw me sit up there and do my Austin Powers, all of that other stuff. Why? Because the Clippers got Marcus Morris. That's an additional defender on LeBron James. So the path to the finals seems that much more daunting. I don't think that, the Clippers from top to bottom, I believe an argument can be made. They're the better team. My only point is the reason why I don't have to completely deviate from my position is because it goes back to what I said from day one. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are two of the top 5 players on the planet Earth. If they bring their A game in the sport of basketball, when you have 2 superstars that play like superstars, I'm sorry, that can be enough to get it done. There's a lot of questions about the Lakers right now because we're questioning 35 years of age, 17th year in the league, and a part of LeBron James along with a 4-headed monster in L.A., right there in L.A. with the Clippers, who could assist in guarding him. In the case of Anthony Davis, we had him right here on First Take, and we were talking about how cats were looking at him because I had guys on the Clippers say to me, we got 5 dogs. This is before they acquired Marcus Morris. We got 5 dogs. They might only have 1. Okay, so that's what they were saying. But the point is, with all of that being said, Anthony Davis, why are they not calling him that? Because they know he's an all-world talent, but they believe they could compromise him if they get physical with him, which brings us back to my original point. If he plays like an all-world player and LeBron plays like an all-world player in the sport of basketball, that should be enough to get you to the final.
They have 2 top 5 players, no excuses. And I'm a Lakers fan, by the way. Can we talk about the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Chicago Bulls for a second? Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's not going to be enough for the Lakers this year. Because as much as people, and we're talking to one of the all-time greats right here in Isiah Thomas, as much as people always try to make it about the point guard and the big in the NBA and throughout history, what brings you success, the most success any team has ever had is the Chicago Bulls Jordan Pippen dynasty. And when you look at that dynasty, it was 2 attack dogs, perimeter guys who could defend and score, who could shoot and take it to the hole, who had an overall game. 2 of them, 6'6", 6'8". That is the formula. So you can tell me about Patrick Beverley, who's tremendous. Love Patrick Beverley. Lou Williams, when you talk about dogs, he's a dog on offense. You usually think about defense. He's a dog on offense. You can talk about Doc Rivers and coaching and all these things with the Clippers. But they have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. It's the closest thing the league has seen to 2 perimeter guys like that since Jordan and Pippen. And Kawhi elevates under pressure. He's the guy when the chips are on the line. Isiah, you can talk about this because you were a chips on the line type player. The Greek Freak gets shut down. Who do you want? The shot against Philadelphia gets made. Who do you want? Put him up against Kawhi with the chips on the line. It's not going to go good.
Teach him, Isiah.
And both of you are kind of right. But where I see the Clippers having a really distinct advantage at is because of their identity, their defensive identity that they've yet to develop, but at least they know exactly what they want to be. I think the Lakers are still a work in progress. They're talented enough to win, but I still think they're a work in progress. I don't think that they've really solidified who they are, what they want to be. I know they want to be champions, but when I look at the Clippers, I see a game plan in terms of behind the bench with Doc Rivers, trying to instill that mentality of toughness, defense wins championships, so forth and so on. I do believe their offense will kick in, but at the end of the day, I, like you, believe that the Clippers have the most talented roster. I think the Lakers right now are still trying to find that toughness, that person who's going to bring them that type of toughness. I look at LeBron, I look at AD. Clearly, they're the best players, talent for talent. But when you look at their toughness and their identity, I don't think the Lakers have really developed their identity.
That's why I like the Clippers from the beginning of the season, because when you try to throw it together and you have to push all your resources into the chips
Well, they're
to the
both
table
throwing it together.
to get AD, and you bring these new guys together, it takes like a season or two to get the details right, the role players, to figure out what you're doing. The Clippers won 48 games and then just dropped Kawhi and Paul George on the team. They won 48 games last year with Patrick Beverley and those guys, and Doc Rivers as the coach. How are you going to add the Finals MVP and a guy who was in the MVP conversation to a 48-win team and expect another team to win?
Let me answer that question. Here's what I think you're missing. When you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, yes, you are dropping those guys into it, but there's a lot for them to figure out as well, because you have 2 additional bodies that you have to appease. Now, defensively, they're going to come together, but offensively, you know what? You got to do that as well. Plus, you've got the load management issue, and you're talking about chemistry, camaraderie, all of those kind of things. You got to work that way. In the case of the Los Angeles Lakers, what you dropped Anthony Davis into the mix. Yeah. It's just that simple. So it's not that complicated for them. Here's where it gets complicated for the Los Angeles Lakers. When LeBron James is in a game, their offense is fluid and elite. LeBron James has the ball in his hands. You're running your pick and roll. Frank Vogel is accustomed to coaching that, and they look sublime. Here's the problem. The second he goes out of the game, who do you have? Which is why everybody was talking about Rajon Rondo or Schrader for the Oklahoma City, how you needed to get one of those guys. You didn't do that. Then you were praying that
Derrick Rose. Because they
Derrick Rose. I'm sorry, Derrick Rose and Dennis Schrader. And then not only that, you also you was hoping to get Darren Collison. He elects not to come out of retirement. So now what we have is a situation is with LeBron, with AD, you know who is the key guy for the Lakers? Rajon Rondo, because when he comes off the bench, he has to be able to give you something.
No, there's
from
more,
the point
Stephen A.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.